Hello everyone, this is King El Bey. I'm doing a quick video on how to set up your foreign trust with the state. Now, I'm going to show you how you do it so it can reflect on how you get down and get busy with setting up your entities and what you need to be thinking about. Because there's multiple ways to do it. You don't need a 9-8 number, or you can utilize a 9-8 number. There's multiple ways that you can do this in order to have success with your process. But you have to understand how to do this in its entirety. So I want to go through the form and the application and show you how to set up your foreign trust. I know a lot of people talk about the 9-8 number, getting it from the IRS. I think it's a lot of videos on that. I think it's a lot of information on that already. But I want to come in from another state point of view. I want to cover it on grounds so that you can know how to move within the category of your state and show you how to start thinking when you setting up your entities so that you can now have rights to exercise within the state. So let's go. Let's get busy. So this is the form. Okay. Now, I'm not going to go over the form itself. I'm just going to let you look at it. I'm just scrolling through it. All of this is kind of self-explanatory, but I really want to go down. It says the entity above is irrevocable consent to service of process on the agent above as long as the authority of the agent continues in the service of process upon the Ohio Secretary of State in blank. So they tell you that it's irrevocable. The irrevocable is irrevocably um, change, reverse, or recover. An agent is not appointed. An agent is appointed, but the authority of the agent has been revoked. The agent cannot be found or served after the exercise of reasonable diligence. So I'm just going to just let you look at that, but let's go here. So I want you to look at the instructions for application for the license. So they want to give you a license because this is how they do. Because actually everybody is foreign to the United States. That's why they want you to get a driver's license. That's why they want you to get a marriage license. That's why they want you to get a social security card so that you can create these minimum contacts so they can subject you to the jurisdiction. So everybody is foreign. That's why you got to go here. They tell you here in your Ohio Constitution before I get started. So let me go here. Just let you. So let me show you here. It says all men are by nature free and independent and have certain inalienable rights. Have certain inalienable rights. So what they do is they trick you through contract to give up those rights. You get what I'm saying? They trick you to give up those rights. That's why you got to understand all of this, and you got to understand you do have a right to privacy, but you got to know when you operate within the jurisdiction how you become subject as a member, because you got to remember that you got three branches of government: local, state, and federal. And most everyone based upon how they are moving, have some type of jurisdiction. They have connected themselves to the jurisdiction by how you move it. A lot of people we're making this process, so we're overthinking this process, even with child support and all of that. So you got to learn how to disconnect the membership. That's all it is a membership. It's just learning how to disconnect the membership, and it's simple ways to disconnect the membership. Um, and that's it. It's like you having a membership to your like a Gold's Gym or a fitness facility, or a membership to a certain type of um, I guess like one of those food places where you can buy a bunch of food. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Like I don't want to use like Costco's or Sam's or one of those, but one of those places where you can get low discounts on stuff like that by buying stuff in bulk. So I had a brain for but nevertheless, I just want to explain this information. So I just want to go over this. So it says this instructions for a foreign corporation application for a license. It says this form should be used if you wish to apply for a license to do business as a foreign for profit corporation, but they also have a foreign nonprofit. So I'll just pick one. It says you must select between obtaining a permanent license or a temporary license. If you wish to apply for a permanent license, please select box 1. And for a temporary license, box 2. I'm just going to paraphrase a little bit. A temporary license, they allow you to do business for 6 months. And then pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, that section, 1703.13, no foreign entity can be granted more than 2 temporary licenses in 3 years. A permanent license will allow you corporations to do business in Ohio until the license is canceled or surrendered. Please complete the entire form as applicable whether you have selected box 1 or 2. Then they talk about a certificate of good faith to obtain transactions in the business in Ohio. A foreign for profit corporation must file a certificate of good standing or subsistence dated not earlier than 90 days prior to filing the application under the seal of the Secretary of State. So these are the things you have to do. They are going to give you a certificate of good standing. The certificate must state the exact corporation name and the fact that the corporation is in good standing or is subsisting corporation. Okay, name of the corporation. The name of the corporation as registered in its jurisdiction of formation must be provided. Pursuant to this, a foreign corporation name must be distinguishable on the record. If the corporation name is not available, as assumed name must be provided. If an assumed name is provided, please attach the resolution of foreign corporation to qualify under an assumed name form 591. The corporation must conduct business in Ohio under the assumed name in this situation. So I'm just going over it. It says the purpose clause, a brief summary of the corporation purpose to be exercised within the Ohio. So you got to say it's a nonprofit. You can say a nonprofit religious organization, faith-based. It says general jurisdiction information. Please provide the name of the jurisdiction of the formation. Okay. Formation of jurisdiction. That's going to be within the state or whatever. And the date of the corporation and the jurisdiction of the formation. Also provide a complete address of the principal of the corporation. If the corporation principal office is outside Ohio, provide an address of an Ohio location if one exists. A foreign for-profit corporation is not required to maintain a principal office. I want you to look at that. You don't have to have a principal office in your state. This is what I really want to show you. I want to show you this and this. Corporations to prosecute or to defend legal actions pursuant to this, okay, section of the revised code. This I want you to know. The failure of a foreign corporation to obtain a license in Ohio does not affect the validity of a contract formed by the corporation. Okay? But a foreign corporation should wish to obtain a license must file a license and pay an additional $250 in order to prosecute or defend any license. So they just let you know you don't need a license, but the license allow you to do what? Prosecute and defend. So if someone take your chattel property, because that's what the paperwork is contracts, everything is contracts. And if you know how to set your stuff up correctly and you do it right, you can do this. So it's not necessarily that you have to have this. You don't need this. You can set up an LLC to do all the and transfer the contracts over to the LLC so the LLC can do all the prosecution. But I just wanted you to know you don't need a license in the state if you know what you're doing. But you can have a license to do business and still be recognized. So the corporation consent to service a process on the agent so long as the authority of the agent continues. As the corporation agrees to service a process, the Secretary of State, if one, the agent cannot be found, the corporation failed to designate an agent when required to do so, or the corporation license to do business in Ohio expires or cancels. I also want you to read this. Corporation that has been transacting business in Ohio without a license. If the corporation began to transact business in Ohio prior to 2009 but obtaining a license, the corporation must attach a certificate from the tax commissioner which state that the corporation has paid all franchise taxes. I want you to understand this. Because you got to understand how to set up your entities. It's a way to get around all of this. We know how to do it at M.U.S.T, which it should have paid it had it qualified to do business in Ohio at the time it began to do so. The tax department refers to this as a D4 certificate. And it may be obtained by contacting the Ohio Department of Taxation. Just want you to understand this. If the information you wish to provide for the record does not fit on the form, please attach additional provisions on a single-sided 8.5 times 11 sheet of paper. Signatures. After completing all information on the filing form, any authorized officer of the foreign corporation signed by page 3 of the form, and the signature must be verified by notary public. It says our office cannot file or record documents that can contain a social security number or a tax identification number. Please do not enter a social security number or a tax identification number in any format on these forms. So I just wanted to show you, but it's a particular way if you know how to contract to get around that. So let me just show you. Let's go back here. Like I said, all men have by nature free, independent, and have certain inalienable rights. So how do they get you out of this? Through contracts. They strip you of your rights through contracts. They get you to do all these different contracts, and that's how they strip you out your rights. You just got to learn how to contract to maintain your rights. You just got to know how to maintain everything in which they can't put a lien on your rights because they're inalienable. The only way you can give up your rights is through contract. You can get your rights waived. You can give up your rights. You can give up any rights due to this provision of the contract of this. It says the clause prohibits a state from passing any laws that impairs the obligation of a contract or make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of a debt. So you got to understand, when you entering in Federal Reserve notes, all you doing is collecting more debt for yourself because you don't know how to contract. Everything is contract. You have to learn how to contract and understand how you can satisfy your debts with yourself by understanding what to do through contract. They tell you right here. None of y'all are talking about this. Nobody is teaching y'all how to contract. And that's why I say you're having issues with everything as a more because you don't know how to contract. And that's your problem. You're talking about treaties, you're doing all of this. You can secure everything through contract. Got nothing to do with none of that. You ain't got to argue constitutional grounds. You ain't got to argue treaty rights. You ain't got to argue treaty benefits. You ain't got to do none of that if you know how to contract. This is Keng El Bey giving y'all more legal knowledge. I just want y'all to understand this knowledge that I give you. You know, I want y'all to understand. Well, let me retract that. The information that I'm giving you is only for educational and entertainment purposes. This is not to be considered legal advice or legal advice. So just want to recant that last statement talking about more legal knowledge. I'm just giving you more knowledge so everybody can have this so you can understand what to do. Once you understand how to contract, a lot of your woes will go away. A lot of things that you can be able to secure and be able to move proficiently in our society and understanding how to protect yourself. So this is Keng El Bey. I want to say I'm out. Thanks for everybody watching the video. Peace.